As of recording this, I have literally just finished watching episode 10 of Mushoku Tensei, Turning Point 2, and it has got me thinking, and this is basically just a quick theory video on what I think is going on based on the most recent episode. So, if you haven't watched it, expect spoilers in this episode, in this video about what happens in the episode. Go watch the episode so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, also, before I get into it, if you've read the light novels and know whether I'm right or not, or what's actually happening, be mindful in the comments or whatever about spoiling it, because obviously there'll be people that will be waiting for the whole of the thing to be adapted, if it does get fully adapted, but just bear that in mind. But yeah, so, this episode we met the Dragon God, Orthstead, and he poses a very, very interesting question. What in the ever-loving fuck is going on with Rudeus' existence? And why is that? Well, initially when Rudeus tries to look at Orthstead with his eye, his demon eye that can see the future, he has a strange reaction, almost as if it hurts, because we don't see any. We see that Orthstead is reacting to it as if he's doing something, but he's not actually doing anything, which is quite strange. Then Orthstead says a few things. First off, he knows who Rudeus and Eris are, which is weird because he's not met them yet. He explicitly states that he has not met them yet. He also states that Paul, Rudeus' dad, should only have 2 kids, 2 daughters, not a son, which is strange because Rudeus exists. Rudeus is Paul's son. But according to Orthstead, Paul should only have 2 daughters. Which implies to me that Orthstead knows the future, or knew the future, or knew a future. When we get introduced to the Man God after Rudeus is initially killed by Orthstead before he is then healed by him, the Man God talks about how he can't view anything to do with the Dragon God, both present and future. There's an emphasis put on future, as we know the Man God has been able to predict future events and aid Rudeus throughout the story. However, when it comes to the Dragon God, he can't, because of a curse. One of 3 curses. Might have been 4. One of 3 or 4 curses. Which is strange, because not only can the Dragon God have some knowledge of the future in knowing who Rudeus and Eris are without having yet met them, even though he is currently meeting them now, which is a weird way of putting things, he's also incapable of being seen by the Man God in any capacity, even though the Man God clearly knows a whole lot about the Dragon God. Now this leads me to my speculation, is that this story we are seeing take place isn't necessarily an initial timeline. I don't like getting into timey-wimey bullshit, but it feels like I kind of have to try and explain or try and fathom what is up with the Man God, because he didn't know who Rudeus was. And as far as he's aware, Rudeus shouldn't even exist, because Paul shouldn't have a son. But how does the Dragon God know about Paul's kids? How does he know who Eris and Rudeus are? Well, the only way he could possibly know is if he knows the future. Hence why he'd know that he would meet Eris and Rudeus in the future, but not now. He knows he will meet them, and he knows who they are because he will meet them, but he hasn't met them yet. However, Rudeus is someone he hasn't met, and shouldn't have met. Hence, he doesn't know who he is, especially given that, as far as the Dragon God is saying, Paul only has 2 daughters. He doesn't have a son. Which makes me think, the Dragon God wants to kill the Man God. He explicitly says that. And the Man God writes it off as saying, oh, the Dragon God, he's wicked and I'm good. However, we can tell purely by the mannerisms of the Man God that he is hiding a lot of things. He's a very sketchy, shady individual, which implies to me that perhaps he is fucking around with things he really shouldn't. Primarily, bringing Rudeus into this world. The reason why Rudeus reincarnates is presumably due to the Man God. He even says that when Rudeus died in this world, it was different to when they first met after he died in the real world, or our world, if you will. Which begs the question, can the Dragon God see things related to the Man God? If not, that would explain why he can't see Rudeus, or can't see the future that involves Rudeus, or the past that involves him, or the present that involves him, hence why he thinks that Paul doesn't have a son. Either that, or because the God, quote-unquote God entities can see the future, or perceive it in some way, that is evidently a future that has happened, or will/should happen. And Rudeus' existence is either going to disturb that, or because of the curse on the Dragon God, he also can't see things related to the Man God, and because Rudeus is an apostle of the Man God, as the Dragon God puts it, he can't see things to do with Rudeus either. Hence why he didn't know who he was, and why he immediately assumed he was an apostle of the Man God, and attacked him after he asked Rudeus the question of, does the word Man God mean anything to you? So there are two ways to spin this. There is either some timey-wimey bullshit going on, or there is much more to this curse that is on the Dragon God. Honestly, the more likely is that it's the curse on the Dragon God, perhaps there's maybe even a curse on the Man God. However, the idea of timey-wimey bullshit is obviously ridiculous. Odds are that's not what it is, but it'd be cool if it was in some way. Especially given that the Man God has even said that Eris had potential but lacked polish. And he's always seen that way, and that she has grown. Almost as if, from what he'd seen of the future, she wouldn't have grown. She wouldn't have gotten that polish. However, because of Rudeus, things have changed. Things are different to how they should have been, or how he perceived them to be. And as such, she has gained polish that she wouldn't previously have gotten. Which is why this gets weird. Now, if you've read the novel, you probably know whether any of what I'm saying is complete nonsense, or if I'm hitting even remotely close to the mark. I don't really know. I don't want to read the novels until this season the anime finishes. I mean, the thing is, if we get an announcement for another season, I won't pick up the novels until the end of that season, and that'll keep going until, well, we get no more. But this is really interesting. This episode has really, really made me love this series even more once again. Hell, Turning Point 2. The first turning point was the Manor disaster, I believe. What exactly are the turning points? Are they turning points in, history? The future? If we want to go that timeline thing? Or in Rudeus' journey and the development of himself and the characters around him? We don't really know. Well, I don't. Some of you might know if you do watch this. But I find where the story is heading now incredibly, incredibly interesting. And good God, I love this show. Episode 10 was an absolute joy to watch. Hell, I made an entire video specifically trying to read into specific bits of it. It was incredible. There is so much going on this episode that I absolutely love. The girl, what was her name? And fuck, I literally just watched the episode. She wore the mask, black hair. I nearly called her Nahobino, which is the main character from, well, not actually the main character, but is what the main character is in SMT5, but that's not her name. But yeah, she's interesting because she makes a remark about what Rudeus could be, which could imply that she's also from another world, maybe. Who knows? Because she's clearly not scared of the Dragon God, even though his curse makes all things fear/hate him. However, her and Rudeus seemingly are both completely unaffected. We'll have to wait and see if we get more Mushoku Tensei in the future, past this season, or if the rest of the season will give us any answers on the questions that I have tried to answer or have asked in this video. Yeah, if you watched this video and you liked it, obviously like, comment, sub. I will definitely make more videos on Mushoku Tensei in the future, and obviously other anime that are airing right now and will air in the future. This has been a weird outro, I don't normally do it like this. But yes, with all that said, I've been Animosity, you've been you. Catch you on next time in another video. Ta-ta, for now.